Again, when you learn this and you pay attention and your awareness is broadened to this, what you will notice as again something very magical and mystical, that negativity, that contradiction is returned to sender. And if that sender does not begin to restructure how they deal with you, if they don't get on one accord with you, if they don't line up with what you say it is for your world, for your universe, for your environment, this atmosphere will begin to play musical chairs, and it will eradicate those who do not harmonize with what you believe in, and bring in others who do. That's why it's imperative for you to stick to what it is you say it is, what you believe in, because this environment adheres to you, and it will bring in the necessary co-stars, if you will, to bring that about in the most harmonious manner without you trying to use overt, outward physical force to bring it about. You have a connection with this environment. You receive signals from this environment. If you touch something, you receive, your receptors let you know if it's cold, if it's warm, or if it's hot, that type of thing. But that's a two-way street. You also send out signals to this environment, and this environment has its own set of receptors where it receives signals from you. So when you employ ignorance to an individual or individuals, because there will be several who contradict what it is you believe in, either knowingly or unknowingly, consciously or subconsciously, but it doesn't matter. When you're fortified in yourself and fortified in what you believe in, and you begin to hone the skill and the art of employing ignorance when required, this atmosphere begins to hear you more clearly. Your signals to this atmosphere become stronger, and the impact you have on bringing about what it is you believe in the most indirect way becomes more potent. So it's very useful to you that you begin to employ this ignorance, ignore those, because again, I used the example with Abraham and Sarah having to ignore, Abraham having to ignore her in order to maintain his belief in what God told him. That's very close range, and it's a good practice to learn to do this with those who are close range, if they so happen to contradict what it is you believe in and what it is God tells you you can have. And what does God tell you you can have? Whatever you have the capacity to believe him for. Yeah, that's worth clarifying. So the reason you want to practice and hone the skill of employing this ignorance by those who are close to you and those who you believe should be completely on board and completely behind what it is you want, whatever it is you're doing, is because sometimes, especially early on, depending on your faith, depending on the development of your faith, you may have to ignore someone even closer. Who's that? Yourself. Self-doubt, depending on what you're going for. And again, your level of faith, you may have to ignore yourself. You may have to ignore self-doubt in order to walk into the fullness of your rights as God's beloved child. So it becomes a very useful tool, a very useful asset in your repertoire of dominion to employ this ignorance, when necessary, in order to maintain your own harmony with what it is you believe for. It pays you back 100-fold when you hone it. So let's just be mindful of that. Let's begin to practice that, and it takes time. This is all a process, and that is why God chose me to mentor you in this, because it's a process, it's a journey. It continues to evolve. Dominion is infinite. There's no final destination. So you want to continue to develop it, and let it grow and cultivate it, and play with it and have fun with it and make it your own. Find out what it means, for you. But ignorance and ignorance is definitely an asset in a multitude of situations. And again, I've seen it happen. I've experienced it on several occasions where people, because people say some off the wall things that make you go, are you serious? Did this person, really say that to me? Type thing. It's happened to you several times as well, so I know you're familiar with it. You know what I'm talking about. So you'll need to employ it at that time. You'll need to be fortified in yourself, and refrain. Allow that uncomfortable silence to be there, to wash over that person, so that it amplifies, the foolishness of their comment. Let it be there, and remember and be mindful that in ignoring them, and in returning the message or the contradictory statement and contradictory energy back to its sender, you strengthen your signals to the environment, and the environment plays this musical chairs, and it either gets this person to line up to be on one chord with what it is you're saying, or it's musical chairs, and the atmosphere brings in the required co-stars to bring this about. You be mindful of that, and that allows you to stay, or motivates you to stay fortified in what you say it is. Because if you're not with me, you're against me. It's in the Bible. If you're not with me, you're against me. And since God is with me, there is no against me. There's only for me. So that's another state of mind and consciousness that you need to evoke and develop and hone, because it is also quite useful. So again, it's just another tool, another asset to help you in your dominion. Constantly think of your dominion, and think on that which puts you in a very assertive state of being, knowing that this environment adheres to you, and all of this is designed and set up for your benefit. Know that in principle first. As you begin to evolve in your journey of dominion, you will become more and more aware of how this environment adheres to you, and how it's already set up for you to win, how you already have the victory. You just have to know it first, and then all of the whys and the reasons and the connecting of the dots come afterwards. So again, man, just stay focused on your journey. Stay focused on developing your dominion. Know that you have it. Be bold as God created and designed us to be. So give that a go. Remember, remain respectful to yourself, even though when you are employing your subject, ignorance is your subject. When you're employing ignorance to those who are asking you to ignore them, uh, let the uncomfortable or aspect be on them. Let the feeling of disrespect lie with them, because you must respect yourself. You must respect yourself. On this journey of dominion, self-respect is mandatory, and it comes before respect is given to any entity outside of yourself. So remember that. Be steadfast in it, and that's the way you'll produce the results. Okay, keep dominating.